Welcome to the Pragmatic Developer's Scala Cookbook. I'm Antonio Salazar Cardozo. I spent many years working in the Scala universe, including several as a committer on the Lift web framework. And I've helped to build 3 applications from an early stage, including 2 of them from scratch, in Scala using Lift, Akka, and several other Scala technologies. In the first section, we'll talk about Scala optimizations like tail recursion optimizations, switch, and jump table optimizations, as well as value classes. Section 2 will be about the implicit keyword. We'll talk about how implicit parameters work at their most basic, why we would use them, how to use them to implement the type class pattern, and finally, how to use them for object extension. In Section 3, we'll talk about understanding Scala behind the scenes, how it interacts with Java and the JVM, and how to profile it and debug it in IDEs, in some cases including tools that only understand Java but can still interact with the Scala world. In Section 4, we'll talk about mutability and immutability, including some of the Scala philosophy around immutability, the advantages and dangers of mutability, streams, and how you can kind of find a join point between that mutability and immutability that is very practically useful. And finally, some of the things to think about when considering mutability versus immutability in practical applications. Finally, Section 5 will cover some miscellaneous Scala tricks, including advanced string interpolation and how to create your own string interpolators, try and either, parallel collections, and finally, how to deal with parametrized types and generic programming at a very high level. Before you get started, we'll expect you to have a basic understanding of object-oriented programming, some familiarity with the command line, some familiarity with Java constructs like classes, and finally an intermediate understanding of Scala, including function definitions, case classes, various collection methods, pattern matching, and basic testing with Specs2. Lastly, as we go through this course, we'll expect you to gain some understanding of simple Scala optimizations, some deeper understanding of the implicit keyword and several of its uses that are available in the Scala world, some deeper understanding of how Scala and Java interact, how those ecosystems meet, and how to debug and profile Scala with Java tools, how to distinguish between use cases for mutability and immutability, and finally making use of some of these more advanced Scala ideas like custom and string interpolation, try and either, parallel collections, and parametrized types. I hope that piques your interest. In the next video, we'll discuss recursion and specifically the tail rec annotation.